Okay, so it looks like we ended up getting our topside targets, and it looks like the speculation behind the head and shoulders formation that we mentioned yesterday ended up coming true. Now, the bottom side targets weren't fulfilled, so I guess that's something that we're going to have to take a look at now. But what is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by once again. This is ARCa, and we're going to be diving into ticker symbol FNGR directly from Glamis, California. Still here, team. And I know that I know that Lockup was asking me what city was that, right? I'm sorry, you guys, that I know I can't. I'm having a little bit of trouble replying to anything really, right? Because of the spotty connection. But I'm here doing the damn thing, and we're going to try to keep this short and sweet so that we have enough bandwidth to load up the video, right? So yeah, why don't we go ahead and start off with the chart on the manipulation side of things, team. And as you can see here, we actually have 1, 2, 3, and 4 iterations of manipulation today, which basically from the opening of this candle here at around 552 assisted price action in achieving the target of $5 from today's price action into the after hours market. So now let's go ahead and dive into the next chart, because this is the chart that we essentially used to identify that head and shoulders formation, right? So you have a shoulder located right over here. You have this you also have this head located right over here as well, right? And here is your right hand shoulder. So we were identifying this as the potential right hand shoulder to a head and shoulders formation, or it could have been a type of dead cat bounce too. So why don't we go ahead and actually just run I guess a little bit of a test here, right? So we're just going to go ahead and put our trend line here from the bottom side of that of the dead cat, and then we apply the trend line from the top of the cat all the way back down to that initial trend line, right? So from here, we then apply it to the under part of it, right? So this right here, it was suggesting a target that was consistent to about $4.98. Price action came down to $5. Fair enough, So it looks like it may actually have the potential to recover, but I will say that upon recovering, there is a very tough trek to that upside. And why would I mean that, right? So of course, well, first of all, we have a speculative neckline from the head and shoulders. We also have the bottom side of the dead cat bounce, right? And then we also have several areas in price action that indicate supports and resistances all within this zone here, right? So this is a great resistance zone for us to focus on. And to add on top of that pie, we actually have the SMA 10 and the EMA 21 acting as a new resistance. We did speak about the EMA 21 yesterday. This was my condition for you. It was for me to have you keep an eye on the EMA 21 on the I think the hourly or 3-hour chart, and this is how we were able to determine a continuation to the downside. So another very interesting thing is that we've actually been very cleanly using this SMA 50 as a support. Look at here, price action came down, bounced a little bit, failed it, right? Then we came back up, test, and continued. So the SMA 50 has high relevance towards this downside too. Now, when we face a pretty aggressive bounce like this, $5 to around $5.22, that usually means that there could be a pullback coming in because of how fast the recovery was, right? So now if we look further up, we have the SMA 10 located at $5.32, and we definitely have that EMA 21 located at around $5.41, which both naturally match this zone of resistance that we just talked about a few minutes ago, right? So what would happen here, typically, right? Now I'm not saying that it's gonna happen. I'm just saying that this is something that's typically happens after price action reacts like this, right? So you have a quick bounce here. You may have a continuation with that bounce somewhere into the areas of about 535 to 541, get a resistance from these moving averages here, and then essentially come back down to start validating some of these supports down here again, right? So I do suspect that we may come back down to the area of about $5 to maybe even 506, right? So let's just go ahead and put that range of support right down there for us, right? So 506 to about $5. and that could be the support zone that we could face come Monday. Okay, and now so resistance at 535 to 541, and then support at $5 to 506. And let's look at the last part of the analysis here, and this is actually going to be the RSI. So 30-minute time frame RSI with an upside pivot, but please notice that we actually have that 15-minute with an upside in the gravitational zone, which means that a pull to the upside is likely there in the 15-minute. 10-minute time frame upside pivot in the gravitational zone as well. A little bit of an upside pivot here from that SMA 14, and the RSI looking good. And the 5-minute time frame with an upside pivot as well. Okay, so I guess what that's telling me is that we could be coming up to a resistance soon. So let's look at the hourly time frame. So the hourly time frame is at a resistance, but just like I always say, make sure to mind where your RSI signal is sitting. So in this particular area, you are in the gravitational zone of the bear strength percentile, which means that we would be able to succeed the upside of this SMA 14, and the gravitational zone would actually help us pivot towards the upside. Now, what brings me fear is actually the bi-hourly time frame RSI, and that is usually finding some resistance at this point right up here on the SMA 14. So that SMA 14 may act as that resistance for us, and then it should come down. So this is now validating it on the 4-hour, the 8-hour, the 12-hour, the daily, and we will find out if the 3-day and 5-day react to that later on. Right, so now you know the supports, you know the resistances. Please get in touch with me if you have any questions or concerns. I know that it's a very difficult thing for me to reply, but I appreciate everybody for watching this video. And please take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever. I need you to do your due diligence, and everything will be cool. But with that said, team, I wish you well, a very, very good weekend, and I will catch you at the bell, hopefully on Monday. Adios.